The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual guests. Hi, welcome to the Armed Citizen Podcast Live. This is episode number 305. Today's date is Tuesday, August 29th. I'm a little tired. I've got some friends we're going to bring here in a second that will hopefully keep me awake. I'm going to try to limit Clover's presence on the show tonight because his sultry voice can just put me to sleep like a little baby. So we're going to try. Good luck with that because, you know, Clover, he's going to take over if he can. It is what it is. You guys know that we are live as always on YouTube. We are streaming live over to 150 countries around the world. If you're out there in the live chat, go ahead and say something. We don't know that you're out there unless you do. By the way, I won't be able to put coherent sentences together tonight, so I will be relying heavily on my guests. Even the ones that need two people to spell a four-letter state, we'll be relying on them as well tonight. It is what it is. If you guys want to text into the show, yes, you can text into the show. Utilize the Ghost Tactical Hotline presented by our good friends Rod and Shelly Gates at Aegis Gun Care. That phone number is 530-364-4678. If you're a veteran, really anybody, but especially if you're a veteran and you're in that hole, you're in the darkness and you're looking for that light, call me, text me, email me 24/7. I cannot give you medical advice, but I could probably talk you through some stuff. More importantly, I can be a good someone that can just there and listen to you if you need. Sometimes just listening is all people need. If you are looking to get someone to get you towards some medical attention, remember two things. One, you are not alone in this fight. You have a lot of brothers out here that are willing and able to help you in any way possible. And two, the world is a much better place with you in it. So please, utilize the Veteran Crisis Hotline, 1-800-273-8255. Once again, 1-800-273-8255 veterans. Press the number 1. We are spotlighting, as always, the United States Marine Corps. If you have any questions on what it takes to earn the title United States Marine, see the website, marines.com. And as always, we are a proud member of the Rapid Fire Radio Network and the Self-Defense Radio Network. Go check out all your favorite pro-gun, pro-toy podcasts over on rapidfireradio.us and selfdefenseradio.net. And let me just turn down my phone. My phone is already blowing up. It's we'll not enter that one right now. Let's get this off of my ugly mug and bring on your tour guides for tonight's trail ride. We promise you not to get you stuck in too many woods. And if they are, we will ask you to please squeal like a pig. From Anderson Manufacturing. I don't know why I transitioned right to Kyle on that one. It did not mean to. From Anderson Manufacturing, the Pony Express himself. What's up, Kyle?
Hey, not much. Thanks for having me on, Ghost.
Always, always, always. We used to know a guy that looked just like this. Apparently, he went AWOL for a while. But it's nice to have the tactical boogaloo himself from gearreport.com, the executive director of snacks and beverages. What's up, TJ?
Oh, waiting on the hurricane, doing a little prepping. I mean, drinking, but
little prepping. Yeah, preparation. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. You have bottles and cans of the necessities.
Oh, yeah. Come on. I'm always stocked up.
Vienna sausages and alcohol.
We cooked the turkey. We're good for 3 or 4 days now. It's planning ahead right there.
Oh, snap. That is pretty good.
I don't think we're going to get anything over here on the East Coast, but you know,
you never know.
I
hope not for your sake.
I can pray. No, dude, I can take a day off work and drink all day. That'd be fantastic.
Well, that's called Thursday.
You got to have a hurricane party. No, I don't get to take off work most days.
No, I get it. Standing on the corner in Winslow, Arizona, such a fine sight to see. From the GOA, it is John, the soulless ginger bastard. What's up, man?
What's up? It's a beautiful day in Arizona. It's a beautiful day to be on here with you.
It is. Well, it is a pretty day, actually. It was about 85 degrees today, which is much nicer than it was Friday and Saturday, where it was 120 and 115 respectively, which means it probably was about 140 in Arizona.
We call that Tuesday.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah. What's going on at GOA? You got anything going on?
Big win today with the no red flag laws in Tennessee. That's a big win. That special session, nothing really came of it. We went through and read kind of some of the things that passed, and most of it was just, nothings. We've got a couple other big cases that we're fighting, especially the pistol brace case and the frame and receiver case. So we're hoping to get that all resolved here quick. I know I had a couple phone calls with industry people today, and they're like, get this brace thing done and over with. We're ready to get rolling again. So as always, go and become a member of GOA. It is $25 for the year. It's gunowners.org. Go check us out.
And I'm sure I know it. Well, I know you guys do. You have a lifetime membership available as well if someone's looking to do that. So go check out GOA at gunowners.org. From the weirdest state, I wouldn't say the dumbest state because that's Mississippi. Let's just be honest. We know that. Even Arkansas knows that. Thank God for Mississippi, because Arkansas is like 49th and everything. Thank God for Mississippi. So, but for the weirdest state where it takes two people to spell four letters, we got Chris from the 740. What's up, homie?
Hey, thanks for the invite.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we should, because I have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about. I'm still a little punch drunk. There's no telling where this is going. I might just fall asleep halfway through this. If it does, well, that might be the best show we ever put on. Just saying. But thanks for coming on, buddy. And as always, riding shotgun, the little feller himself, the tactical virus. Leprechaun himself. What's up, Clove?
Hey, man. Hey, man. It's been a long, hard day.
Really? You're still in your PJs, aren't you?
In the bubble bath. The bubble bath. But it's okay because I got my boat.
Did Calgon take you away?
Yeah, that's okay. I think I need a bigger boat. But, it is what it is.
That's my boat. You got a shotgun of the week for us?
Yeah, let me drop a... you ain't going to know what this one is. I can guarantee you. And it's right up your alley, too.
It's a shotgun. There's a good chance I don't know what any of them are.
So, this was a prototype. 80s or so, the AAI close assault weapon system. You'll appreciate it, even though it's a shotgun.
Oh, snap.
Right? Like 450 rounds a minute. Why not?
Yeah, I could get down with that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm down with OPP.
Yeah.
Now, there's a reference there, John. OPP was a song by Naughty by Nature. And when he's talking about the assault weapons ban, that was the 1994 assault weapons ban. You were before your time. So in case you were wondering, we try to keep up. TJ, you've been gone for a while.
Who said anything about the assault weapons ban?
Like you said, it was prior to the assault weapons ban, didn't you?
No, I said,
dude, I'm still punch drunk, bro. Yeah. I don't know my name, honestly. So
no, I said that was the AAI submission for the military.
Oh yeah, I heard something way different than that. I heard something way different than that. No. This could be interesting, boys, and I'm sober. I'm not even on like any medicinal anything.
I was just getting ready to say you're tired.
I'll tell you.
Yeah. Oh, I'm tired. That's something. So yeah, I put a link out there in the chat. It's pretty cool little shotgun. It's definitely more up my style than what you would think Clover style. Although that is kind of a fuddish design, if you will. So yeah, what's up, everybody out there? Kyle, I want to bring you in for a sec because I know that you guys are going to have an interesting. Well, you've got what started today, I believe. You guys have got a serious promotion going on with Anderson going. I want to let you have a few minutes to talk about that because it's pretty amazing, actually.
Yeah. So as a lot of guys on the panel can tell you, it's been a slow summer in the industry, and we need to move some inventory. So we've got 30% off our entire web store right now. So even if you're just now getting into the gun game and trying to figure things out and you want to try a build or something like that, now would be the perfect time to buy your kits, buy all the parts that you need, and, just kind of work it from there. And then for all you experienced builders out there, it's feast time. Literally.
No,
yeah.
Did you say feast time or beast time? 'Cause either one of them works in this occasion.
I'll leave that one up for interpretation.
Okay, all right. Because they both work for show. Yeah, for sure. Go check out AndersonManufacturing.com. Speaking of which, we have our pony polls coming up. For y'all, no one probably noticed. I did receive a few phone calls and texts last week from my boys here on the panel asking if I was all right. I kind of went radio silent. Was a little busy last week at work. Hence, I'm still extremely tired, but most of the audience probably didn't realize we didn't have a show. That's how awesome ours is. But we do have some pony polls this week that were left over. I knew we weren't going to have one, but the first one has 2.2 thousand votes. And it's real simple, guys. We're talking like barbecue sandwiches here. Are we going with a brisket sandwich or a pulled pork? Kyle, I want to we'll start with you first. Brisket or pulled pork?
Brisket all day. If brisket's on the menu, I'm going brisket. Yep.
I knew I liked you for a reason. TJ, you're going to say some like weird ass, like Florida citrus gator thing or something, aren't you?
Oh, no. Brisket. You got me a brisket. My neighbor has a barbecue food truck, and you can tell when he's got the brisket on over there smoking. I'm like, dude, save me some of that.
Yeah. It's funny. And Clover will probably understand when I say this, and he probably will agree. In Texas, when you say barbecue, it means pretty much brisket. Like, I came to Arkansas and it's all like pulled pork here. I'm not saying that pulled pork's bad. I do enjoy me a good pulled pork sandwich every now and then. But there's let's go some barbecue. And I'm like, hell yeah, you go in there and it's all pulled pork. It's like, I mean, but no, you're on the right track though. Ginger, I'm ready for you to screw this up. Go for it.
It's really hard, but it's gotta be brisket. Brisket pulls away every single time, especially if there's a good barbecue sauce with it.
See, okay, now I will give you I will give you barbecue sauce must be good. Here's the difference why I think brisket is so far ahead than pulled pork. Pulled pork, you've got to have barbecue sauce, right? You can't just eat that plain and dry. A good brisket, you don't necessarily need a barbecue sauce. I'm not saying you don't use barbecue sauce. I'm saying a good brisket, you could go without a good barbecue sauce, and I don't think you can do that with pulled pork. That's just my opinion. Ohio, do they even have barbecue up there? I mean, I don't know. Do they?
Oh yeah, but it's brisket all day.
Oh, we'll see. They've got good choice in barbecue. Now I want to wait for the old Texas guy to come here. He's probably gonna say pulled pork just because he's weird. Clove, please don't betray.
Well, first of all, like a good steak, good barbecue does not need sauce. I don't care what kind of meat it
True.
is.
I tend to agree, but I have found here, and maybe it's I don't know. I
said good. I didn't say okay.
Here. Well, this is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
Yeah.
I'm not a slaw person in general. And I found here in at least in Arkansas that the pulled pork with barbecue sauce and slaw on the sandwich is a thing. Now, my opinion is it's not bad. It's not bad, but my opinion is if you have to like disguise the barbecue and sauce and slaw on the same sandwich, something ain't right. Maybe it's just me. I don't know.
Yeah. Now you're talking sandwich. You're talking sandwich, right?
I'm talking sandwich. I'm talking straight up
I'm a
sandwich.
I'm a pulled pork guy when it comes to a sandwich. I
Yeah.
believe that chopped beef is heresy. Like chopped beef should be sliced. Sorry.
Okay. No. I didn't say it had to be on like a hamburger bun. I'm a big fan of the sliced brisket on like a Philly bun or a sub bun. It's pretty good stuff there. Just saying.
Maybe, but as you
Hoagie
eat
roll.
it, if it's done right, it's probably going to crumble. More than likely anyway, and
It
especially if
should. It
not only if
should.
it's
Yeah,
done right, but if it's sliced correctly. That's a big
correct.
issue too. A lot of people, they don't know how to trim their briskets. They don't know how to slice them once they're done. They don't let them rest. That's a really big deal.
Mhm.
And they need
yeah.
to rest for almost as long as they cook in a lot of cases. Yeah, I don't know. Sandwich wise, I don't know. I'm more of a pulled pork now. On a baked potato,
Yeah.
I go chopped beef on a baked potato for sure.
Okay.
Different delivery device.
Way different.
Why would you waste brisket on a baked potato? I mean, am I the only one?
God, you've never had
the only one?
You've never had a loaded baked potato from a barbecue joint?
Yeah, but they don't they don't waste the brisket on the baked
Yeah.
potato.
Man,
We got
That's good
brisket
stuff.
tacos in
I've
Kentucky.
had
We
some
have
burnt,
brisket
I've heard some
tacos here too.
burnt ends on a baked potato.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Burnt ends, and that's a whole different issue. Yeah,
Hey.
I'm okay with that.
Burnt ends or
Yeah.
brisket?
What?
No,
Burnt ends or brisket? I'm
They're
thinking
brisket.
burnt ends.
burnt ends.
That's actually a tougher call than
Oh,
brisket versus pulled
not even a
pork.
choice
I'm still
between
taking
burnt
brisket
ends.
though.
Oh, no,
I'm going burnt ends. Yeah, I'm with TJ.
That's
I don't know.
tough.
I don't know what they do. I don't know how they make them. I don't even care. I don't care what it is.
Same.
No, I get it. I get it. But I'd still take brisket over. All right. So real quick, let's go through the room. Doesn't matter whether it's brisket, pulled pork, whatever. Take your barbecue of choice. What two sides are you going to get with them? What two sides? Clove, we'll start with you. What two sides are you putting with whatever barbecue you choose, whether it's a sandwich or a standalone, whatever, a baked potato, apparently. With your barbecue, what two
main
sides
dish.
are you getting?
Well, a loaded baked potato would be a main dish, so no.
That's what I'm saying. However you deliver that barbecue, what two sides are you getting with those?
Pinto beans is almost a have to. It kind of depends on the barbecue joint. Like, what do they have, right? Like for most places, pinto beans. I'm not a baked bean guy,
You're
so I
talking
like
pinch. Okay. I'm
I
gonna
like
say
some really good,
okay.
really good slow
Interesting.
cooked. They use the scraps from the meat and
Mhm.
whatever in
Oh, yeah.
the
Oh,
beans.
oh, yeah.
Like
Oh,
yeah. So you get a smokiness to the beans as well. So I'm gonna say probably pinto beans, and then probably for mainstream, probably beans and corn, like the corn on the cob that's come off of the
corn on the
smoker
cob.
or off of the
Okay.
grill, right?
Okay. Sure. That's solid.
But some barbecue joints that I've gone to, and it's not all, but some do some pretty awesome collard greens. So like collard greens go really good with brisket too.
Yeah, but you gotta be really careful with greens in general. It's either most of them are either really good or they are really bad. So
Yeah, well, it depends on the greens because at collards you don't run the risk quite so much as with turnips and especially mustard with them being bitter. But you're right. I mean, they have to be parboiled and prepared properly. Greens do for sure, but there are some barbecue joints around that I've been to in my day. They do some really good turnip greens or collards. I'm not a big mustard green guy at all because they do tend to be bitter more often than not.
Yep. Christopher, two sides.
Here, we got one place I go to. They got really good cornbread. I always get the cornbread when I go there.
Okay.
And we got another place that makes brisket chili, and that's just amazing.
Ooh, that does sound kind of good. That sounds dangerous. I'm not gonna lie. Now, do they serve them on like spaghetti noodles like they do in Cincinnati, or what?
No, not here.
Okay.
But,
Actually, I like the idea of Cincinnati chili, basically the chili on top of spaghetti noodles. Now, some of the seasoning that y'all use in Cincinnati with that chili is a little shady and sketchy. Just saying. Kyle, you know what I'm talking about.
I cannot do Cincinnati style chili.
What, you don't like?
Now, if you just make your normal chili and you put it on top of spaghetti noodles, like I'm down with that. That's not a bad thing. But there's some sketchy ass seasoning they use in Cincinnati chili sometimes.
Nah, nothing sketchy.
Yeah, it's just dark chocolate and cinnamon.
What?
It's chili. They'll have dark chocolate and cinnamon.
It makes it good.
No, it does not. Once again, if I just make my normal chili, or my wife makes her normal chili, because her chili is amazing, and you put it on noodles, I'm down with that. If you put it on sticky rice, I'm down with that. But some of that seasoning that they use in Cincinnati is a little, anyways. All right, Ginger, what are your two sides?
It depends on what they look like when you're looking at them. So it's either baked beans and cornbread or mac and cheese and cornbread. It all depends on how they look at when you're looking down on them when you're going through the line. Because if the mac and cheese looks like it's been sitting there for a while,
it has that hard crust on top. Yeah, not so much.
And then,
I could just stir that around. No, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah. And then as a person from Ohio, we no longer claim Cincinnati. That is part of Kentucky. The airport's in Kentucky. Cincinnati's part of Kentucky.
I'm a Cincinnati guy. I'm not a Cincinnati guy, but I enjoy it. I love Cincinnati. I used to go to Cincinnati all the time. I'm a huge Cincinnati Reds fan, so but I don't mind it being Cincinnati, Kentucky. We're the state it's in. I mean, once again, Kentucky's a much cooler state, I think, than Ohio. Like, it's a longer state name, and one person can spell it. So, I mean, they got that going for it.
That's just rude. So, Kyle, quick question for Kyle. Skyline or Gold Star?
Skyline.
Even I know that.
Yeah, that's nice.
That was like we had to go there. Like that's what you got to do,
Yeah.
Or if you're really feeling it, Blue Ash chili is really good. Have you had Blue Ash?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I've never heard of it.
And Dixie chili is good too. That's another little low key one.
TJ being all from Flow Ride, and y'all have some weird like pineapple coconut barbecue. What two sides do you guys go with?
I was in Carolina for
beer and liquor do not count as two sides. I'm just saying.
So beer, battered onion rings don't count.
I don't care about that. Yeah,
I do. I always do the slaw just because the places.
Are you okay? So you're a slaw guy. Now, do you eat slaw by itself, or do you mix it in with the barbecue?
It depends. If it's pulled pork, I'll throw it on top of the barbecue. And then fried okra.
Be a thing.
I love my fried okra.
Oh yeah, I'm not an okra guy.
That's the only time I eat it.
Screaming Skull Saloon says, "Remind me to eat before the next time I tune in." Ghost. Spectre out there says mac and cheese and cornbread. Jacob says curly fries and mac and cheese. I'm not the only one that's never heard of chopped beef on a baked potato, apparently, but we'll see.
It's the first I heard.
Yeah, Clover is the first for a lot of things. He's a trailblazer, if you will. Kyle, what two sides do you prefer with your barbecue?
Mac and cheese, and for some reason, barbecue joints always have a good potato salad.
That was the one that I've been waiting to hear. Potato salad is another thing. Now, are you a mayonnaise-based potato salad or a mustard-based potato salad?
Mustard-based, for sure.
Interesting. I like potato salad, but it needs to be homemade. Like my wife makes a really good potato. I'm not a big fan of like the potato salad you get at restaurant because it's not homemade, unless it's homemade. But most of them, they're not homemade. They come in like a big old tub. But I thought I'd hear more potato salad than just one, because that down here is a big thing. For me, I've always been a baked bean guy and a cream corn. And I think that's because we spent a lot of time going to a place, and Clover might have heard of them before. If you're a Texas person, you've probably been to New Braunfels, and there's a place called Rudy's Barbecue, and it is the best barbecue I've ever had, aside from a little joint that we have a secret in Vegas. But they have this cream corn that I have replicated through reverse engineering over the years. I make it every year for Thanksgiving. I'm a huge cream corn guy, and so I anytime I see cream corn on the menu, I'm going to get it. If they don't have baked beans, or if that, once again, if someone says that the baked beans look bad, I might go with some mac and cheese. But I'm basically a baked bean and a cream corn guy. If they don't have cream corn, I'm probably going corn. I don't eat a lot of vegetables, but corn's definitely my favorite vegetable for sure. Getting back to it, 2.2 thousand votes. 70% of the people were correct that picked brisket over pulled pork. 70 to 30. Our next one, 2.4 thousand votes. Who wins in a street fight? Bruce Lee or Mike Tyson? Street fight. TJ, we'll start with you. Bruce Lee or Mike Tyson in a street fight?
Oh God, it would have to be Mike. With the raw power, he's going to get you, and you're going to feel it. Even old Mike now, I think he'd still whoop some ass.
I tell you what, I think old Mike can still whip some ass. I'm just saying,
dude, he still works out.
I wouldn't fight him. No. Christopher, Tyson or Bruce Lee?
Definitely Tyson. He's a psycho.
Yep.
He's gonna if he's losing, he's gonna pick something up. Take it to your head,
or bite your ear off again. Yeah. It is a street fight. That's once again. That's why I made sure I said street fight, not in a fight. Kyle, Bruce Lee, Tyson.
I'm going with Bruce Lee. He's just going to be way quicker. He's going to be way smarter. No offense, Mike Tyson, if you're out there listening right now, but.
He's coming for you.
He's not. But okay.
You never know, Mike. If you're out there, sorry, man.
Yeah,
but I think Bruce Lee would definitely just out tactic him. I think he'd do it.
That's fair. Clover, Tyson or Bruce Lee?
Yeah, I don't think you tactic a punch or block a punch from Tyson. And if he tackled you to the ground, I mean, and was on top of you and landed a punch, it's over, dude. Like, you're not going to survive a punch from freaking Iron Mike.
No, I mean, especially Bruce. People don't realize that Bruce Lee was 5'4", 100 pounds. Literally, he was a tiny dude.
Well, Tyson's not a big dude.
No, but he is not 100 pounds. That dude had.
Yeah, no. He's definitely chunky, bulky, whatever. Yeah. But I'm just saying, he's not a tall dude with a long reach or anything like that. But street fight, all he's got to do is tackle him, and it's over.
It's over.
He's got to catch him first.
This is true too. In a street fight, running is an option, and I don't think Tyson would because Bruce Lee can climb buildings and rails and stuff. I mean,
that's running away from the street. That's not a street fight. That's running away from a fight. So what are we talking about here?
He would re-engage from the fire escape or something.
Yeah, Tyson just stepped out of the way, and it's like, come on. What?
Tyson's fast. I mean, you watch him box. He is fast. He's got some feet.
That's true.
Yeah, my head. He's quick. I'm not sure he's fast. I think I could probably take him in a sprint. Just saying. I don't know.
Let's hope he's not listening.
Mike, if you're out there,
I'd like to see that one. I would like to see that.
Mike, if you're still in Vegas, meet me at the Leatherneck Club next Wednesday, the Wednesday of whatever January that is, and we will do a sprint off in the parking lot. Kyle will be there to witness.
Yeah, it's going down. I'll be the flag girl.
You said it.
There are
a handkerchief, dude. It's a handkerchief, not a flag. But
thanks.
Go. You go. Fight.
A neckerchief. It would be a neckerchief, actually, not a handkerchief.
Oh, okay.
It'd be a
Okay.
neckerchief.
Whew, I thought you said something else. I was like, I'm getting ready to cut you off. A neckerchief. Yeah. All right. Ginger.
Tyson's just got to land one punch. That's it. He could have his ass being kicked the entire fight. He just got to land one punch, and that's it. It's lights out.
I tend to agree with that assumption that Tyson only needs to land one punch. I'm not so sure that Bruce doesn't just have to land one kick to the temple, though, either. You know, I'm just saying. I'm torn on this. I think that Bruce Lee will give him a much better fight than people would anticipate. I still do think that Tyson might be able to absorb some more than Bruce Lee could overall. I do believe that Bruce Lee will give him a much better fight than people would anticipate. I do think that probably Tyson wins overall. 61% of the 2.4 thousand votes agree that Tyson would win. 39% for Bruce Lee. Our last pony poll. Hashtag Pony Express 2024. Which one? 2.2 thousand votes. Which one? Mossberg 500, Remington 870. Ginger, let's start with you.
It's the 500, the hands down, or the Pony Express. You know.
Well, I didn't. There's a reason why I didn't put the Pony Express. Is it was like a no non-question.
It's a game changer.
That's gimme. Yeah. Speaking of Pony Express, Kyle, 500 or the 870?
And 500.
That's my boy. Clover?
Mossberg 500. I have spoken.
There you go.
Okay,
TJ?
500.
I mean, once Clover says that,
He said it. If I said anything else, I'd be wrong.
Yeah. Chris, 500 or 870?
Yeah, even though I don't have a 500 and I have a couple 870s, I still got to go with the 500.
Still going with the 500. That's pretty funny. I like that.
It's just a better gun.
Yeah. Jacob wants to know between Tyson and Bruce Lee. Now, who fights more dirty, though? Well, obviously, Tyson's not afraid to bite people's ear off in front of millions of people. So I'm going to go with Tyson will fight a little bit dirtier.
Yeah, Tyson got that hands down.
Yeah.
I feel like Bruce Lee'd be like more, he's probably like moral, you know, like he probably would not.
Probably. Yeah. I think that I think you're probably right. Yeah. Vanessa Kitty says a good tactical nuke will fry them all. That's fair.
I think this was an episode of Celebrity Deathmatch at one point.
Was it really?
I think so. I think it was at one point.
I gotta go back and find that if it's true. That'd be
MTV,
wonderful.
bring it back.
So, John, but I'm surprised you even know what Celebrity Deathmatch was. You must have seen that in reruns. MTV back in the day, Ginger actually played music videos. And then it had a thing called The Real World, which was the very first reality TV. And they had a couple great shows. They had a show called Beavis and Butthead. And I even want to say, was it Ren and Stimpy on MTV also at one point? I think Ren and Stimpy was on
It
MTV
was after it got pulled from Nick.
Yeah.
Do you remember the game show Remote Control?
Oh, absolutely. Remote Control. Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I didn't know if Ginger was aware that at one point MTV actually did play music videos, because I don't think they're allowed to anymore. For some reason, they don't do it anymore. When's the last time anybody in this room watched MTV? Anyone lately watch MTV? I haven't watched it in a decade, probably. Kyle, really?
I still watch it because they just play ridiculousness 24/7, and I love ridiculousness.
Oh, see, I get it, but like I'm so over it now. It's just like I'm done with it. But
I get that.
I get it.
Yeah, I think MTV was named after playing music videos.
Yeah, it's called
not
music
sure
television.
I remember when it came out.
I do too. What was the very first video?
Was it a Video Killed the Radio Star?
By the Bugles. That's correct.
The Bugles, yep.
That's right. Absolutely. Yeah. I used to
Is
love
Vanessa referring to Pinky in the Brain? Is that that's Pinky in the Brain? The mice who tried to rule the world every night was a good cartoon. That's Pinky in the Brain.
Yeah.
That was Animaniacs stuff, right?
Yeah.
The Warner Brothers and their sister Dot.
Okay.
We have a lot of cartoon knowledge up in here.
Not for me. I was not a huge cartoon guy. I like some of them, but I didn't watch a lot of them. Let's see here. 2.2 thousand votes on the shotgun. 63% said Mossberg 500. I'm actually surprised it wasn't a bigger win than that. Nothing against the 870, but I think that most anyone that's actually shot a 500 series shotgun would say it's a superior firearm than the 870. I think to make it a fairer fight, you had to put the Maverick 88 against the 870. I know it sounds kind of cruel, but I don't think the 500s in this. I don't think the 870s in the same league as the 500. But still both great shotguns. Don't get me wrong, but I would take the 500 all day, every day, twice on Sundays probably. Jacob says Clover, my local gun shop, just got 3 Remington 870 police magnums. Are those reliable after they have been well worn in by the local PD? And he has well worn in. He's stressing the word well worn in.
I'm guessing he's eyeballed them and they look horrible. Most police trade-ins are not well worn in. Like I don't know that I've ever seen. I don't know that I've ever seen a police trade-in that didn't almost look brand new. Like seriously, like maybe Mike Marks, like my Mossberg 590, for example, which I'll talk about. You can tell where it rode in a strap, one of those trunk deck mounts, right? Because it's got what am I thinking? Kyle knows about finishing. You know what I mean about the wear marks, right, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, there's absolutely zero wrong with it. So I mean, I would think so. I mean, it hasn't seen as much use as you think it is. It probably looks way worse than it is because you got to realize it rides around and is rattled around and everything else in those mounts. There's nothing wrong with that. If the price is right, like, go for it.
They sell parts.
Yeah, this is true, especially on a Remington 870. I mean,
you get it cheap enough.
Not hard to find stuff, and not that hard to work on either. Nope. Honestly, tons and tons of aftermarket stuff. I mean, same way with 500s or the Mossberg 500s, but Remington 870, anything and everything aftermarket is available out there, or stock if you prefer.
Do shotguns even get used a lot on police departments? I mean, I see like breaching doors, but
usually more. It's usually more, but very rarely. Very rarely. It's mostly handguns.
Shoot those beanbags.
But here's the thing. Actually, I would say that depending upon where you are, I think that actually shotguns might get used more than a handgun. One, you can use the beanbags, but two, I mean, let's just be honest. This is not anything derogatory against law enforcement. One of my good friends is the sheriff here, but the vast majority of law enforcement don't get a whole lot of trigger time. Let's just be honest about that.
Yeah.
And sometimes a shotgun might be a better option for a police officer that may not get as much trigger time as they should.
The vast majority of engagements, though, think about this, are going to happen when they don't have that shotgun on them. All they've got is their sidearm.
Well, this is true too. But I know a lot of law enforcement that will carry that shotgun up in the cab with them when they get out of the car. It's, they might have a sling on or something like that. But no, I see what you're saying, and the vast majority probably are, but I'm not so sure that a shotgun might not be a better choice than a handgun for a lot of them. And that's like I said, I'm not trying to put them down. I'm just saying the reality is they don't get a lot of trigger time. You would think they would, but they don't. I don't know if it's a requirement or whatever, because I know
requirements are low.
The requirements are low, and I also know that you can get a deferment on your yearly qualifications up to like 2 or 3. It might be 3 years or 4 years before you qualify, and that's just well,
there's something to be said too about a handgun. Think about it. I mean, you still got one hand free. It's a little bit easier to reholster that and engage two hand if you need to. If you need two hands free, like
Buck says, using one hand with a handgun, the other hand with a donut. I mean, that like Buck says.
Well, this is true. Got to protect the donut for sure.
You have quite a few more rounds with the handguns too. So,
and if you have a
warm lot and miss a lot.
If you have a warm Krispy Kreme and a Wendy's Frosty, you really need the handgun. You really need the handgun around to guard that sweetness for sure.
This is true.
If you want to watch something funny, go watch like 80s police training videos with shotguns, and they actually recommend not to use shotguns when you're engaging a suspect due to the spread of the buckshot.
Well, duh.
That won't kill him, man, but it'll pepper him up pretty good.
Pepper.
Yep.
Now that thing will blow a hole in the door if you want it to.
Put a hole in the truck. You want it to.
Is that what it said? I thought it was a door. Yeah. If you're a Chappelle fan, you get that reference. So, yeah. All right. Did I go over that? I think I did. Mossberg 500 was 63% of the vote. So yeah. Yay.
Was that the pony poll? Did we do the pony polls?
Those were the pony polls.
Brought to you by Anderson Manufacturing. Those polls?
Go check them out at AndersonManufacturing.com. And by the way, Kyle, 30% off website wide, correct? Until when? Until Monday or Tuesday or when?
Tuesday.
Till Tuesday.
I heard it was 5 minutes from now, so you better hurry up, people.
But still watch the
That's true.
Tuesday end of day or Tuesday.
Open another tab. It's all good.
Tuesday at midnight.
Midnight Eastern?
Eastern Standard. It's the only way to be.
It sounds bad, but sometimes you have to explain exactly to people because they're going to get, you will get emails, Kyle, if it's like, 12 o'clock Pacific time. Like if John's trying to order a lower at 12 o'clock in Arizona, he's going to get all sorts of pissy and email you. You said 12. So,
Hey, just email my boy Chris, support at AndersonManufacturing.com. He'll take care of you guys.
That's right.
Yeah, I might have to. I'm on the website right now. I might just have to get a Kiger for that price.
Hey, I would love to see a Kiger in your hands, Chris. I really would.
Yeah, that's hard to pass up right there.
That would be an honor.
The funny thing is Kyle and I talked this morning, and there's some really, really cool stuff coming down the line. Can't wait to talk about some of this, Kyle. But Anderson's really going to do some cool things. You guys will be on the lookout and be listening, be watching, because he'll be able to announce some stuff here in a little while. But man, some cool stuff coming. Jacob out there's got a really interesting question, and I love Jake because he likes to ask questions, and that's what this is all about. Now, would you trust a police trade-in over a new production firearm? If so, what firearm? So I'll start out with this. Yes, I would very much trust like a Glock 17 or a Glock 19 police trade-in over a lot of most brand new firearms. Because here's the thing, you're talking Glock 17s and Glock 19s. If something does need changing out, a spring here or there, it's all good. You can find those anywhere. And like most of us said, this is not a derogatory statement towards law enforcement. The average police trade-ins are not heavily worn out. And let's be honest, people think that putting 1,000 rounds of guns going to wear it out. Most guns, if they can't make it 10,000 rounds, they shouldn't even be going to market. Let's just be honest. So very rarely will a police trade ever see 5, much less 10,000 rounds go through it. So I personally, depending upon the gun, if it's a Glock, then absolutely I would trust a Glock police trade-in over most new guns. Let's start with Ginger on this. Police trade-in over a new firearm? If so, what kind of firearm would you trust?
So police trade-in, I've got a ton of them. I really like the Gen 3 Smiths and the, like you said, Glock 17, things like that. Like if it's Milsurp, I wouldn't trust it as much as a carry gun, but I would also shoot it. And if there was a gun that was a police trade-in that I wouldn't trust, it would definitely be, if you guys remember, Smith & Wesson did like a single stack Sigma at one point, and they were rated for only 2,000 rounds before you had to get rid of them.
That's scary.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, most of them didn't make it that far, probably. I would imagine.
But other than that, yeah, most police trading guns, like they are, even though they look beat up on the outside, most of them are in and out of a holster or in and out of a cruiser, and they're good to go.
Yep. TJ?
I trust police trade-in. Any of the Glocks, even some of the Berettas. You know, but because you got to figure there's extra parts around easily for any of those, and then most of the time they're pretty well maintained as well as not used a lot. So
yeah. And the great thing about it, for me personally, like I'm a big Glock Gen 3 fan.
Half price.
You get them for about a half price, but here's another thing even better. If you're looking for a Gen 3 Glock, you can get them for almost nothing. And I'm a huge Gen 3 fan, so yeah.
Get them at high point prices.
I mean, I don't know about that. I would be awesome, but I mean, like I've seen them for $219, $229.
Yeah,
maybe just a little bit above high point, which means so you're talking about a Glock 17 Gen 3 for $229. I mean, okay, sure, yes, please, I'll take 3.
Throw a new barrel and a new slide on it. There you go, good to go.
You're done. Absolutely. Clove. Police trade-in, if so, over which police trade-in would you trust the most?
Which I wouldn't make a delineation. I don't have a problem with any.
He just says, do you trust a police trade-in over a firearm? If so, what firearm? So
police trade.
He's basically saying, would you trust a police trade-in over a new gun? And if so, which one would you trust over a new gun?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I would trust all of them. So I don't understand. I don't understand the question. There seems to be this disconnect of thinking that, I don't know. I just want to address this, that because it's a police trade-in, they trade them in because they're worn out. They trade them in because someplace gave them a really good deal to trade those in and upgrade. It has nothing to do with the fact that they're wore out or their service life has ended or anything. And that's we're not even talking US, we're talking worldwide. And most of the big departments that engage in trade-in programs, like TJ was talking about with maintenance and stuff, they have armorers.
Mm-hmm.
So even if they're shot the least a little bit, they're taken care of. Their things are replaced if they need to be replaced and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I can't get specific with it because, like, I wouldn't. I mean, if I've got the choice between a new production and a police trade-in, and the police trade-in is half the price or less, then there's zero reason for me to get the new production. I don't care what it is.
Even if it's a Smith & Wesson M&P.
What do you mean?
You are not a big fan of the Smith & Wesson semi-autos. You're saying that you would take a police trade-in Smith & Wesson M&P 9mm over a new production model.
A new production M&P?
Or anything. I mean, like, would you take...
Clover's talking about like the old revolvers and stuff that they used to carry.
No, I'm not. I'm not understanding the delineation. So you're forcing me to choose between a police trade-in of whatever make.
If you were
whatever, it's
over whatever you have the local gun shop.
Well, I'm going to pick whatever the hell I want, regardless of what it is. Like, I don't understand. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand. The question is too open ended. Like, I don't understand. It's like saying, oh, so anybody that says they're okay with that, you're okay. So like you, right? Let's take your example of the Gen 3 Glock police trade in. So you're going to take that over a brand new VP9?
No.
Right. See what I'm saying? Like, that the question is like, it's obvious.
But you said, but that's why I asked that question. But you said because you had pretty much
knew of the same model is where I thought the question was at.
Okay. Now, if that's the case, a police trade in over a new of the same model, sure.
Yeah.
Yes, because you're going to get it for a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
All right. I just.
I don't get your premise. I'm not a buy one firearm or two or three even in a year kind of guy. So So I don't understand
I don't think anybody in this room is like that.
I get you, but I'm just saying, you get where I'm going with that. So the people that just beat a dead horse and analyze, I got to make the perfect decision because I'm only going to buy one gun a year or something. Like, I don't get it. Like, if the price is right, I buy it. I don't care what it is.
Yeah, I've seen some of the guns you buy for the price is right. You're right. You don't care.
The price is right.
That's not a derogatory
statement. It could be a piece of junk, but you know what? If the price is right on the piece of junk, I will buy it.
Speaking of prices right, rest in peace, Bob Barker.
R.I.P.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you didn't hear? Yeah, Bob Barker.
When did that go down? Really?
2
days ago?
Yeah.
It happens in threes, man. We lost Pee Wee Herman. We lost Bob Barker. Who else have we lost? Who's
Got
next?
as close as he could to 100.
He did. He tried. Kyle, police trade in.
At least he didn't go over because that would have been bad.
Yeah, that would have been way bad.
That's true because
strong.
He wouldn't have won the showcase.
In life, he won. Right. He won the showdown in real life.
In real life,
he got closest without going over. Yeah, yes,
right.
You are
right.
I didn't think about that, but that's actually pretty good.
It's strong.
Yeah, it's strong. Police trade in. What would you take?
I'm taking a police trade in. Just like to piggyback off what Cliver said, it had a scheduled maintenance throughout his career at the police department. It was shot at least once a year, hopefully. And God,
I hope. Yeah.
At least once.
For sure. At least once.
Some models in some cities more often than that. But yeah, for the most part.
Yeah. He died the 26th. That was, I guess that one might have been Saturday, maybe. Saturday? Yeah, it was Saturday. I heard about it on Sunday, though, so that's why I said Sunday. 5 months away from 100, Jacob said. $5 away. $5 away from 100. It's pretty good. Pretty good shopping right there, Bob. You did good. I already asked you, didn't I, Ginger and Chris? Which one of you, Ginger, Chris? Have I talked to either one of you guys yet?
You talked to me
about this. Okay, so Chris, I knew one of you hasn't. I'm not very smart and I'm tired. Chris, please trade in versus new.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with it. I bought a Glock 22 a few years ago. I got a really good deal. I got half the price of a new one.
Exactly.
And then I bought a conversion barrel for it, so I can shoot 40 and 9 through it. And I already had the dies, so if I want to reload the 40, I can because it uses the same dies as 10 millimeters. So it worked out good for me.
And projectiles and powder. So again, what's the point? Just got to bash on 40 for a second. Sorry.
I'm not a fan of it either, but
the Glock 22, and I've had a Glock 22 because, like you, I got it at such a good price, like I couldn't pass it up. But I did eventually trade that sucker off for, I don't even remember for what now, but I did because 40.
I don't think I've had the 40 barrel in it for 3 or 4 years. I've only shot 9 through it.
Chris, you bought the wrong conversion. You should have bought 357 SIG.
357 SIG.
Yeah, I'm thinking about getting that too.
If you haven't shot, have you ever shot 357 SIG before?
I've shot it. I just
I love 357 SIG. It's fun as hell to shoot.
especially shooting it out of that MCK kit. That would be so much fun.
Yeah. Artax says he's got Glock 22, MMP 40, and a Model 10 that you have that are police guns.
I think
we have it. We
Artax
have
has that 357 SIG conversion for his, I think.
Now I don't have a police trade-in because the ones here in Little Rock they're gone so fast. But Gabriel says that he believes that the police trade-ins come with metal sights. Is that a thing? Is that real? Is that true? They have metal sights on the police trade-ins?
I've got one that doesn't. I'm talking about on a Glock specifically.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's what he meant.
Yeah, I've got one that doesn't. It has true glow.
Because I've never heard that. I'm not saying they wouldn't, but I haven't never heard that police models have metal sights. Now that might just be an option that either that particular officer put on there, or maybe that particular department bought them with metal sights. I don't know, but I've never heard that. But it wouldn't surprise me.
It depends on the department if they get the Glock night sights or if they get the True Glow night sights.
Yep.
And I say my True Glows, my True Glow on mine are not metal. The True Glow makes them that are not metal, don't they?
They do make some that are non-metal.
Or years ago, anyway. This is probably 15 years old or longer. Older.
Well, if they're 15 years old, if I had to guess, I would say they probably are metal. Because I don't know if True Glow went with the old polymer sights 15 years ago.
Yeah, you got me wondering.
I might be wrong about that. I might be wrong about that.
I'm going to go pull that out. I'm going to go pull that one out and look. I think it's a Gen 2 as well. So it's even older than that.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it's got True Glows on
Gen 2 was what, 93? 90?
Mid-90s, mid-ish 90s.
4 maybe?
Mid-90s, late 90s, somewhere in there.
Yeah. I don't know. I man, I'm not saying that they didn't. I would assume that. I don't know. I assumed
that an officer probably had them swapped out. That's sort of what I assumed.
Or the department ordered them all of their guns for that department that way, but it doesn't mean that all departments are going to do that. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. Interesting. You brought up Gen 2 real quick, just for shits and giggles. Favorite Glock gen, TJ?
Oh, I don't have one. I don't like them, but I mean, probably the latest.
Gen 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever the newest one is.
Okay.
They function great. Nothing. I'm not knocking Glock. Their aesthetics are just Yeet cannon looking.
Stop. Don't. Now you're just being ridiculous. Now you're just being absolutely ridiculous.
If you took one of those and shaved the slide off a little bit, it looks just like a Glock. Just saying.
A high point is so much sexier than a Glock. I mean, come on, for real.
I agree.
It's got contour to the slide. It's got contour to the grip.
It's got a few curves in it. It's crazy.
It does. It's got curves. It has curves. Big girl got curves for sure. Yep.
Y'all are so weird. Ginger, favorite Glock gen?
Which one's the one that's perfection?
They're all perfection. I think it's Gen 3.
I mean, if it's perfection, why do you have 5 gens?
I didn't say that I use 5 gens.
All right. Well,
because you're taking
I don't own anything that's not a Gen 3. Put it that way.
Because you're not understanding the definition of perfection in the way that Glock is using it. But there you go.
I'm sorry. I'll just go with the Anderson Kiger. That works, right?
The original Glock.
There you go.
The OG.
Yeah,
everything else is a knockoff.
They're like iPhones. They come out with a new order. What did you do? Oh, we changed it to stipple. It's $900 now instead of $800. Okay, awesome.
I mean, why wouldn't they? Hope my mods can take care of the old spam bots out there. I appreciate you very much. Kyle, favorite gen model for Glock?
Gen 3, baby.
Yeah, buddy. I know I liked you. Christopher?
Well, since I'm a wrong-handed shooter, I got to go with Gen 5 since they're all ambi now.
Yeah, you are a weird dude. I forgot you're a lefty.
Darn wrong-handed shooters.
Not everybody's perfect. Jacob, man, he's on fire tonight. Bring up this question. It says, has anybody ever gone to their local gun shop and they have a few firearms someone has on consignment that has a stipulation that the trigger cannot be pulled or hammer cocked? Absolutely. Especially if, well, I have seen it. It's not as prevalent here at my local gun shop. Every now and then you do. Most of the time when that happens, it's a custom gun or something that's had a trigger job on it, or it's an expensive gun right off the bat that they just don't want anything to happen. But yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of things. I mean, guys, I'm not going to go through the room on this. Just start the conversation. Feel free and talk. I'm assuming we've all seen that, right?
Oh
Yeah, we had when I was working behind at the range, we had some guy drop off 11 Wilson Combats with that stipulation, and people were getting mad. Well, I want to feel the trigger. I'm like, it's a Wilson Combat. You know how a Wilson Combat feels. Just if you're gonna buy a $2,000 gun, you're making a commitment.
Yeah. All right, hold on here, Chris. You're not a wrench already. That's interesting.
I'm taking care of it.
Are you? Well, I'm still gonna go over. I gotta go over the YouTube side real quick. How Chris isn't a wrench is interesting, but stand by for the standby. I'm gonna go over to the chat I can't do it from the StreamYard side, so I got to go into the. Whoa, hello. Chris, let's see here. Add as moderator. All right, you are now a working stiff in the garage.
There you go. Everybody can start knocking those.
Now Mario says. So Mario says, if I can't press a trigger, I'm not buying. Is there anybody else in that boat where if you're not allowed to pull a trigger in a gun shop that you're not going to buy it? Anybody in that boat?
Nope.
It depends on the gun. Like I said, if it's
that's true.
If it's a $2,000 plus Wilson Combat, or
you know what that trigger is going to be.
I know what that trigger is going to feel like, and maybe they have a rental they'll let me pull the trigger on, because I know some ranges that do have like Wilsons or Nighthawks on the range to pull the trigger on. But I understand when it's a consignment, there's a chance that they're taking that thing back if it doesn't sell, and they don't want, especially on a custom 1911 like that, they don't want the sear to get broken.
Yep.
Yeah, and what if you're at a gun show?
Quick shout out to our buddy Tim Knight out there.
Tim is out there.
What's up,
nice.
buddy?
You know, what if you're at a gun show and you're looking at 22s like we always do all the time? We're at gun shows and you can't dry fire a 22 and nobody has snap caps, and like, what are you going to do? Like, so that's not a decision that the seller is making. Like, they're not letting you. It's not like a rule or anything. Like, you legit don't want to do that. So. Yeah, it's not a big deal.
Well, I think the stipulation was that there's a gun on consignment, and that the seller has said, "Please do not,
right,
utilize and pull a trigger." Now, here's the problem with me. I probably have already shot said gun that I'm probably looking at buying at least once. But there is something, unless it is a Wilson or a Nighthawk or one of these expensive custom jobs that we know there's been a trigger job put on there. If it's just the stock, like a VP9, and someone says, please don't press a trigger before buying, that starts making me worry what's wrong with the gun. I get it on an expensive gun, but on just a normal everyday stock gun, and that I'm probably going to walk away from that, and it might be fine unless it is a smoking deal that I could probably do a trigger job on and still be under what it's probably worth, I'm okay with that. But just in general, if it's just a normal gun, they say don't press the trigger, then I'm probably going to say, I'm probably going to move on. That's just me, though.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, Jacob just put in the stipulations there, Ghost. If you want to pull up his comment, there were 4 old Smith & Wesson models. Those have the hammer or the firing pin on the hammer, so there's a reason why you technically shouldn't dry fire those.
Yep.
18 range in the range of $1,800. Someone has up with that stipulation 44 mag, 357, 38 special. Yep.
Yeah, it's a mechanics. It's a design and like an engineering and mechanical thing. Like, whether you're talking 22, that's a rimfire related issue. I don't give 2 flips what manufacturer says. Oh, our 22, you can dry fire it. Bull. And same way with the revolvers, if it's a fixed hammer like that, right? Like it's the mechanics of the situation.
Yeah.
They may say you can because they think it's built better or whatever the case may be, but no, it's still the same design.
Yeah. Abigail says, don't you have to press a trigger to disassemble most striker fired handguns? Most, yeah. That is part of the takedown. And if you are a person that's going to field strip that fireman, inspect that everything looks good internally, then you're going to have to press that trigger on most of those guns to do that.
We know a few people that do that at range day, don't we, TJ?
At range days, yes, we do.
The power of Toby.
Yeah. And when I see Toby walking towards a booth at a range day, I walk as far away as possible because I do not want to be anywhere near that fool. Just saying he might lose 2 or 3 springs a day.
I turned my back for a second. That gun's in pieces. I'm like, what did you do?
And you're looking, and the
he's
guy
he's looking at the gravel.
What
like,
in these?
What'd you lose?
Son of a bitch.
What's it?
Like, well, it's a spring and it's muddy. Yeah. Oh, thanks. Yeah. Someone crying about dry firing a VP90 said grow a pair.
Well, I don't think
I don't dry fire mine.
I don't think we're talking about a striker fire gun. We're talking like high end. Most of the time in the store when they have that stipulation on a consignment gun, it's a high end gun. It's a very, very expensive gun.
I saw in a couple of the CZ, the competition ones are like don't touch the trigger.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Yep. Yeah, it can be a VP9, but if VP9's gone through an extensive trigger job, but it's a stock VP9, and you're telling me I can't do it, I'm probably walking away from that VP9 as much as I love it, unless that is a smoking ass deal. And if it's a smoking ass deal, then I probably don't care.
If it's a smoking deal, there's a reason they don't want you to pull that trigger. That's why.
Exactly. No. And I'm saying that I use the VP9 Abigail as saying that if I go to a local gun shop and they've got a VP9, let's just say a VP9, but there's not letting me pull a trigger. Unless it is a smoking deal, I'm walking away from it.
I cannot imagine my local. Well, let me back up and not even say my local gun shop, but any of the gun shops in this area that I know and frequent. I cannot imagine any of them having a consignment from somebody that says, "Hey, don't let anybody pull the trigger or whatever." And then if you buy that and get it home and it has a problem, not taking care of you. I can't see that as a thing at all. So now maybe there's people out there, and I'm sure there are, that all they have is crap gun shops. I mean, maybe that's a thing. But I would buy it sight unseen. In fact, I've had them call me before and say, "This come in. We figure you probably wanted it." And I'm like, "Yeah, don't sell it. I'll be up there as soon as I can. It may take a week or 2 or whatever." But yeah, and like I speak for it without even seeing it. They just say we got so and so model in, literally.
Yep.
So
I got a call about almost 2 weeks ago from my buddy at local gun shop and said I've got a gun up there, and I've been so busy that I have not been able to get down there yet. But I've got a gun that's waiting on me, so I'm looking forward to getting that. But the problem is when I go pick that up, I always have to look and just see what's there, and that's when it gets dangerous.
So here's the thing that I would do. So if I took my Marine Corps edition M9 and I set it up under consignment, I would not want anybody pulling the trigger on it.
Well,
Right.
has it been fired? Has it ever been fired at all
No.
ever before?
Other than the factory, no. Right.
Yeah.
But I'm saying there are situations.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I mean, if you're talking about
Well,
something
first of all, dude, if you take
It's
that gun to
worn
consignment,
and-
I'm beating your ass to begin with.
yes, I understand.
Because
understand.
you and
It's
I
not-
have a
you
gentleman's
know-
agreement that I have the right of first refusal.
You
as a
have the
gentleman's
right of
agreement.
first refusal, and you know,
Just have to sell a kid.
you will. When
can
I'm
have
on my deathbed, you'll be standing there, with a copy of my will, probably with a pillow in one hand and a copy of my will in the other. I know how you are. You want that handgun.
I can neither confirm or deny that would happen.
Accidentally trip over the plug. Oh, sorry.
Right.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
sorry,
Oops.
Armentia. You're assuming that wouldn't be taken care before I got
Right,
there.
exactly.
Armentia's going to be at the hospital long before I get there.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying. I get there because I don't know what happened, Trey.
I don't know what happened. Sorry.
I don't know what happened. You didn't make it in time.
Here's your
Please
M9.
go. Here's your M9. Have a good one. No. God, it went dark on that one, didn't it? But I will tell you this. I will beat your ass if I ever hear that
That's
you got
not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere unless it goes. Yeah.
Unless I say no, which I probably won't. Let's just be honest.
Nobody is no. First of all, it'll never get sold, and so the only thing that's going to happen is somebody's going to have to come up with that Army version, and I don't foresee anybody wanting it enough to put in the time or the money to find a comparable.
Bro,
Army version.
haven't. I've seen a couple, but man, I haven't seen one in the one of them that I saw about a month and a half ago didn't have the box, and it obviously been fired, right? Dumbasses fired it. The second one was in the box, but I'd say in a box. I could not confirm that it was the original. It did not look original. It didn't like yours is like wood, right?
No, it's a plain Beretta
is
box,
it
but the
plastic?
latches
Okay.
the latches on the outside is the same color as the liner and everything on the inside. So mine is red.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Army. This one was
Army's
black.
green.
I don't think that.
So the
I
Army-
would
yeah.
not. Yeah,
The Army would have-
It was not the original then.
Yeah, the Army would have OD latches and OD liner, and then the Navy would be
Nope.
white, and the Air Force would be blue.
Pink.
Yeah.
I mean, blue. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's fair.
And they don't have a Space Force, but I kind of wish they did.
They need one.
Yeah.
Now that there's aliens.
It
But
would be
dude,
alien
do
lime
they-
green, maybe. I don't know what color you would
Space
go
Force,
with. For Space
the
Force.
Space Force budget just went way up. They're like,
So what color? Again, red for Marine Corps, white for Navy,
Force is
blue
black.
for Space Force is black. Well, that's
yeah,
boring.
their sign right down the road is black with the silver Space Force.
Well, that's boring. Now silver would be kind of neat, like chromed out
It's a cool,
case
it's a cool
liner.
emblem. It's kind of Star Trekky looking.
I'm thinking. I mean, I would kind of take Navy and make that. You say is Air Force blue? You said.
Yeah, the Air Force version of that's blue. Yeah.
I would go Navy and make them yellow, and I'd give Space Force white because of the Star Wars, like the Star Wars guns,
Like a
like the
stormtrooper.
Stormtrooper guns. I would definitely make them white.
That would be awesome.
U.S. Coast Guard orange. I don't consider Coast Guard as military. I'm just joking. I think orange is hilarious because that's the color of buoys. So yes, I would think that would be right up perfectly. Or life jackets. They have the orange life jackets. That would be kind of funny. Space Force. I'm thinking like the chrome because like the aluminum foil that they have to wear as their hats. I'm thinking the chrome would definitely.
Well, if you think about the heat shields and everything else are like aluminum and stuff too, right?
Yeah.
I don't see them wearing the aluminum hats down there. I mean, once they get through the gates, maybe. I don't know.
Are you spending a lot of time looking at these?
I live right down the
Space
street.
Force?
I have to go by the entrance every day. That's how you get onto the main road at Pineda. Like if you go straight, you're going into Patrick Air Force Base. You got to take a left, or they'll shoot you. I assume. I don't know.
Hey, will you do me a favor and find out
I'll try.
if they would shoot you? Because I think that'd be hilarious.
I want to ask him if I can go.
We'll know if you don't show up next week.
And bring some guns and take some pictures in front of the sign.
We will know next week if you don't show up that you tested and they did in fact shoot you.
You'll probably see it on the news.
I mean,
Florida man.
Florida man.
Florida man. I'll be one of the memes.
That's the most famous dude in the world, is Florida man.
Florida man, dude.
They didn't shoot me when I accidentally drove onto Right Pat the one night.
I'm sorry, I didn't speak. What the hell was that? What did you just say?
They didn't shoot me when I accidentally drove onto Right Pat the one night.
Right, Patterson's like wide open.
Right up. Yeah, I went up right all the way up to the gate and didn't realize it.
But I promise you, they knew you were there 5 miles before you got there.
Oh yeah.
Oh, John, we're gonna have to talk. I got a similar story.
Yeah, because the way it exits when you go get off the area where Right Pat is, there's a road that leads right to the gate base, and if you miss it and you go to turn around, they'll still come and pull you over.
Oh, absolutely, they will. Yeah,
it's not hard.
And they've probably been watching you through cameras or whatever at least 5 miles by then. I mean, they know you're coming. Jacob wants to know, if you're buying a firearm and could get it in different coatings, what coating would you choose, or would you leave it standard finish? That's an interesting question.
It totally depends on what it is, right?
Yeah.
Like I gravitate to liking some type of two-tone a lot and FDE.
Yeah.
It
depends on the
I would kind of tend to, I think a great color combination would be like FDE and olive drab. I think that's a cool combination. I've got a couple guns set up that way with like a couple Berettas, and I think my Canic's got, I went ahead and went, it was an OD green Canic, and I think I put like the, what do you call them? Grips that were FDE. So yeah, gray and black's cool.
I'm a black and tan fan because, black and tan beer, black and tan gun, awesome.
Yeah, FDE is sweet with black accents and grips.
It is.
Stuff. Yeah.
It all depends on what you're using the gun for. If it's a barbecue
really
gun,
I don't give a shit what you're using it for. I just want it to look cool.
I mean, if you got a barbecue gun, that thing's nickel plated or something fancy. Then you got
true.
Your everyday carry gun, and then you got your cool range gun. Like the sky's the limit.
Something to be said for stainless, and being able to resist elements with stainless, and
and stainless looks really good on some guns and really bad on others. Let's be honest.
Well, you got to,
especially if it's polished stainless,
Yeah, and with the stainless, what you got to realize, and I run into this, I've got a Beretta 92 that is probably late 80s, early 90s or so, and I got it at a really good deal. But over the years, because it was silver, it was stainless slide, right? But the frame is alloy. The frame is not stainless, and so it looks stainless because it's a raw alloy that they cleared over. And over the years, the clear started turning freaking yellow looking. And so I had it hydro dipped in that Digi camo, you've seen it. So I had the lower hydro dipped in the Digi camo because it just got to where it looked so terrible. So you got to be careful. Just because it's silver doesn't mean it's stainless. So
right.
Now, having to do it over again now, because that was years ago when hydro dipping was kind of first coming along. And the options really were Duracoat or Hydro Dip. Having to do that over, and one of these days I may do it. Now you can get Cerakotes that mimic brushed stainless, all kinds of stainless. Like you can do that now. And I would probably, one day I may do that. I may find somebody that can Cerakote it back to where it looks the same as factory. It's just Cerakoted.
Back when the two options were the Duracoat or the Hydro Dip, I would have gone Hydro Dip as well over the.
Well, it's not a carry gun. Like Hydro Dip is, you do not want Hydro Dip, and especially if people aren't doing it right with the grade of clear they're putting over the top.
That's correct.
And back in the day,
I
know people that was hydro dipping it, and they were literally using Cryline clear over it or something. Like it was horrible. And so,
really,
yeah, right. And so, yeah, the guy that I always went with, and rest in peace. This is a dark show. A lot of people passing away and talking about death, apparently. But anyway, He used like a high grade automotive clear, and it's held up pretty good for the range toy and everything that particular gun is. But yeah, hydro dipping for carry. Oh man, back in the day at least, it sucked, and if it wasn't cleared properly, it sucked even worse.
Yeah, well, good.
Clover, have you ever seen a guy clean accidentally leave hops number 9 on nickel before? It just eats it away and ruins it.
Yeah,
It's bad. And then I had another guy take D-lead wipes.
People don't understand. So if you pick up any, or if you're into late 1800, early 1900 Americana firearms, a lot of those were nickel plated, and some of it's even brass. It was nickel plated brass on some of the parts on that, and people don't understand. If you get into that, you realize how thin that nickel coating actually is. Like it's like micro millimeter whatever thin. I mean, it is not like you spray paint or any kind of paint or anything like that. It is a thin coating. So you're right. It doesn't take much to either rub that off, because I've got quite a few old ones that are nickel plated that the nickel plate is rubbed through right to the raw metal. Super thin, and a lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah, Abby says I would still want a stainless Taurus PT99 with pearl grips. I don't know about the PT99. I will say that a polished stainless or nickel with the shiny, most of the time it's stainless, polished stainless with pearl grips. That's pretty tough. That's pretty tough.
My 92, which is a stainless slide, but again, it's got that stinking alloy frame, and it's got the rosewood grip with the gold accents and all. My wife loves that 92. And it's a PT92. It is a Taurus. It's getting to the point now, talking about the Beretta. I've had that one long enough. It's getting to the point it's starting to turn, and it's not really turning yellow. That one's not like the Beretta, but it's starting to get a weird rainbowy pearl color in the clear.
Yeah, sure.
And it just looks weird. So now that we're talking about it, that may be a candidate.
What's the process of stripping that coating and redoing it? Is there a process that can do that without messing it up, or is it?
Yeah. You can blast it. Yeah. It's just an alloy frame.
You can blast it.
You can sandblast it and then and do whatever. Now I would not sandblast it and clear it. And now that we're talking about it, that may get on the bucket list of eventually to do that, because it would look a whole lot better if it was that way. But what I would do is what we're talking about. I would sandblast it, and then I would Cerakote it in a brushed stainless color. That's what I would do. And then you wouldn't have to worry about clear anymore. Like that Cerakote's gonna hold up.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab something. I want to show you. This is probably keep talking. I'm gonna go grab a gun. Be safe for what's on.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah, Cerakote. Cerakote's come a long way, man, compared to Duracoat back in the day. Like, and Duracoat is pretty solid.
Clover, you left at this one. I had a guy come in the one time, and he's like, "Oh, the finish on my brand new revolver he just bought, new Smith & Wesson, is gone." I'm like, "What'd you do to it?" He goes, "Oh, there were the burn marks on the cylinder, so I just kept rubbing it with D-lead wipes." And he polished the metal and rubbed off all the finish on the entire gun.
And it was a stainless, or it was a nickel? It was nickel.
It was just a standard, the 686, that finish, whatever finish they're doing, that dull gray finish that they're doing now.
Oh yeah.
So they're stainless underneath, but he polished
the matte.
Yeah.
They took the matte off. He basically took the matte off of it. Yeah.
So this is, and people that have been around me know that this is what I think is the prettiest handgun that I own, and it's the Ronin 10 millimeter, and it's got the stainless lower, but I love the color combination. It's got that charcoal gray slide with those grips. I think that those grips, I would not normally think that would look good on a stainless frame, but I think maybe because of the darkness of the slide. To me, I just think that's a really, really just a beautiful gun.
That's a big airsoft.
It's a big airsoft. Yeah, you don't see it. It's orange on the end of it.
I almost prefer, if I'm going to have a dark color, I prefer the dark to be on top and the light to be the frame, as opposed to the reverse. I think.
Yeah.
I think it just looks better that way.
It looks better. I think it probably lasts a little bit better too with the darker with the slide because it gets a lot more handling than the rest of the frame.
Yeah.
More abuse.
Of course, it being straight up stainless, you know what I mean? You wouldn't even have to worry about a finish on the slide with all the racking and everything else. And a lot of your holster wear is going to come from the slide too. Think about it.
Correct.
Well, we've got the master of Cerakote in here, Mr. Kyle. Kyle.
He ain't said nothing though.
He hasn't said anything. Come on.
What? Got to unmute. Get in here.
I'm a full. Oh crap! I like the Krylon can.
I'm a rattle can guy. I mean, that's
for your everyday stuff. I tell you something that I was doing, you know, all the finishes and everything else. And I still do it today occasionally, or I wouldn't be opposed. I haven't done it recently, but I wouldn't be opposed to doing it. But back in the day, especially with hydro dipping and Duracoat, and everybody was, you know, getting into the FUD and the shotgun stuff for a minute, like duck hunting, right? Oh man, it's all wet around and blah blah blah, and they want to protect the finish. And one of the things, spray on bed liner, man. Spray on bed liner is freaking amazing.
Sure.
It's amazing. Yeah, spray on bed liner is amazing. I've got stocks done with spray on bed liner. I've got actions. I've got, you know, our receivers, rather, barrels. In fact, I've got one. I can't even think of what it is now, but there's one sitting in there that a few days ago I thought, you know, I need to get a can of spray on bed liner and do a little bit. It's my. I tell you what it is. It is my GSG 5, my MP5 22.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm like, I need to get some spray on bed liner, because what had happened is I was messing around with painting with rattle can, and I used too harsh of a chemical to take the paint off, and it scarred the stock a little bit, right? And with spray on bed liner, you can create a texture to the furniture. So, like right now, you can still see the scarring on it. But if I redo that with spray on bed liner, it will have a texture and it'll cover up all of that scarring. Nobody will ever know that it didn't come that way with that kind of a texture on the furniture.
Yeah,
and it's hard and solid as a rock when it dries. True, that spray on bed liner.
Skateboard grip tape. You can put that on there.
Skateboard tape, sure, absolutely. Kyle's spray on bed liner might work for something you and I talked about this morning. Just saying. Oh, Kyle might not be here with us.
Yeah, may have had to.
He might have stepped out for a second.
Sorry, guys. My daughter had the TV cranked all the way up. What?
Oh, no, good. I just said that spray on bed liner might work for something you and I talked about this morning. That become an interesting concept.
Yeah.
Just saying.
And you could get spray on bed liner in various colors. Here's my suggestion with spray on bed liner, because when it does dry, first of all, don't plan on ever taking it off, right? That's one of the things. That's number one.
Yeah.
Because I don't know that you can without literally having to sand and work it all down. But
and at that point, it might just be easier to buy a different stock or whatever the hell you've got it on.
Oh yeah, yeah. My suggestion is go with black, because black's easier to find, right? And then what I like to do if I want color, what I'll do is I'll get my texture, and you can pump on the nozzle a little bit, kind of far away, if you know what I mean, to get like a splatter, to get a splatter effect, right? You feel what I'm saying if you hold it far away.
You pump that nozzle,
pump the nozzle, and get splatter effect from far away.
You might as well enjoy it while you're doing it.
Anyway, so once everything is dried and stuff, if you want color, go with black, and then if you want color, and this can create a battle worn effect too. That's kind of neat. Use the Krylon Fusion rattle can, but use a blow dryer or a heat gun or something. Don't melt crap with the heat gun, but you get what I'm saying. Blow dryer is probably enough, but warm up whatever you use the spray on bed liner on when you apply not scalding hot, but warm when you apply the Krylon, and you are able to get that Krylon off if you ever want to change color. Plus, you're able to use like a scouring pad and do almost like a battle worn effect in areas, and it's pretty cool. Spray on bed liners is a pretty awesome finish to use on stuff. I'll tell you another one that's pretty good is either high temp paints for grills or in the automotive section for headers, like engine
Really?
paints and things like that. Yeah.
They've got that carbon almost paint
Because they're high temp paints, right? So I mean, they're made to last a little better and a little longer. Yep.
Yeah, it was so funny. I was at the range, and this is a couple of years ago, I think. And I had the battle rifle out. I was doing some stuff there. And he goes, "Oh man, that's pretty cool. How'd you paint the gun?" I said, "Rattle can, man." He goes, "Really? How'd you get like the battle worn effect?" And I said, "I use my rifle a lot." I said, "You just bang it. Like you just use it. Don't be afraid to like. You're not going to hurt the rifle. Use it. And
a green Scotch Brite.
It will naturally get a battle worn effect because it actually will be worn."
Yeah.
I love the people say, "Oh, I need to paint my gun." Why don't you just rattle can it and actually use it, and you'll get the actual effect of the battle worn effect? Just saying.
Yeah. Once you let the paint, all the paint dry and cure really well, which I mean that can take, depending on the temperature and humidity and other things, a couple of days even. Usually, if you can smell it, it's not cured.
I would say do not. I would say if you're gonna rattle can and you want to do different stuff with it, let it sit and let it settle for at least 24 hours. At least.
My rule is if you can smell it, and everybody knows what spray paint smells like.
That's a good one to think about.
If you can smell it, it's not cured. And then, but once it's cured, if you've done multi-coat like you're talking about, you can take and the green little thin Scotch Brite.
Yep, absolutely.
You can battle worn the crap out of one, man. You really can.
Yeah, you can. I'd say you get. I'd say what you get. Like the little kitchen sponges that have the green on the other flip side of the sponge.
That's what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about just the green side. The other side's yellow.
Oh yeah,
with the sponge.
Yeah, exactly.
You can get just the green side. Though.
Oh yeah, see, I don't. I just get the sponge because.
Well, that works too. I mean, yeah, that works too.
But yeah, no, and here's the thing. Here's the thing about rattle canning also. Once you get it cured and once you get it, and if you are going to go ahead and battle wear it a little bit and get the effects or whatever you want, once you get done with all of that, do yourself and go get yourself a clear coat, a matte finish clear coat.
Matte, or even a flat altogether.
Or a flat, but I always get a matte clear
now,
and it'll protect a lot of that stuff.
Another thing, if I'm going to battle worn with rattle can, another thing I'll do using those scouring pads or whatever you want to call them, is I wet sand it basically or whatever. I'll get it wet.
Sure, yeah.
I'm doing it, and that just helps. It helps to clean off.
I get the pad wet, not the gun. But
Yeah. No, exactly. Yeah. I don't. Yeah. And that helps the stuff that you're rubbing off. That helps to. I don't want to say wash away, but you get what I'm saying. It helps to pull that away more.
Yeah, but I still say that if you want a battle worn rifle, just go use it.
Yeah, just use
the shit out of it. Use the hell out of it, and you'll be fine. Exactly, John. Exactly. Hour and a half into this, I have a feeling that if we started their topic, it would go a lot longer. So we'll start those topics on the off-air chat. I'm going to go through the room real quick. Christopher, what you got going on your channel? Any projects coming up? What can people look forward to over at Chris from the 740 channel?
Still doing the ammo test with the Smith & Wesson M&P 22 Magnum. We're trying to find an ammo to make it choke and not run. We're not having any luck, but I think
that's a good sign for that gun.
That's true. But now it's become this big thing now on the channel that everybody's trying to make me find an ammo it won't work with. So I think I might have got one in today.
Can I give you a suggestion? Take this for what it's worth. If someone on the comments or a viewer wants you to test a certain ammo, tell them that's fine. Send me a box and I'll test whatever it is.
Well, it's funny you said that because I actually got some in today from one of the subscribers.
There you go. There you go.
We think we got one.
I'm happy to do whatever with a gun, but you need to provide that ammo for me, and I'll run whatever you want. Absolutely.
Yeah, so I got that coming up, and then I just bought the new. Well, it's not new; it's been out for a while, but new to me. But I bought the Beretta APX A1 Tactical,
and
doing a bunch of testing with it.
So. It is such a good gun.
Yeah, I'm kind of having a hard time getting used to it, but it's growing on me.
I love the APX, man. It's such a great gun. Such a great gun.
But thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Ginger, I'm going to give you a few minutes. Let's talk about GOA and what you guys got going on there.
Well, we just got
2 minutes for 2A. How about that? The 2 for 2.
Well, I said a lot of them earlier, but
I feel like Chuck Woolery back in 2 minutes.
So we just got done filming.
Chuck Woolery was a very famous game show host back in the 80s and early 90s. He's most famous for a show called Love Connection. Be back in 2 and 2. Okay. Now you may continue.
Well, we just got done filming the first 9 episodes of our upcoming podcast to be named here soon. Once we get the announcement going, that should be launching right before TriggerCon. So a couple days of the week before TriggerCon, we're going to have our first 2 episodes out. So it's going to be a small first episode and then a good conversation with our good friend John Bailey over at EOTech. So that one's great. There's some really good conversations going on that one side. So I will highly recommend once that comes out, you come and subscribe to that. And then we've got events coming up. We'll have a group of people at Gunstock. We'll have ourselves over at TriggerCon, which is Rainier's event. For those who are asking, it's in Wichita, Kansas. So that one should be fun. I'll be at the IV 8888 range day as well. So there's a lot of cool events and things coming up, and yeah, thanks, Ghost. But then there's that, and we also are looking at early next year to do a really cool event with a really cool nonprofit called Battle Buddy 3-Gun. It's battlebuddy.org or battlebuddy3gun.org. They are a veteran-owned organization who is looking to get vets into the 3-gun side, especially those who are, how do they want to say it, accessibly unable athletes. So most of these guys are in wheelchairs.
They're wounded.
They're in wheelchairs or they're missing a limb. Their last match, they had somebody who was blind, and that was really cool. Because the dude shot really well. He actually outshot most people. So that was so stay tuned for that, more information on that. And it's really about it. Thanks again for having me.
Awesome.
And then and our first couple episodes for our YouTube channel, FLR, should be finished here shortly. We had a computer go down on us. So we had a computer mess up on us during editing, so we're just getting that all figured out and going.
I get it. So does Clover. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well. TJ?
Oh, the usual over. No, we got the Thursday night show at 9. I've got the Gerson, the MC14T I'm working on, and the Mike 102 from Foxtrot Mike I'm working on. So about finishing those up, and then the coating from Duty Coat, the Monster Tough. I finally finished spraying my last piece that I messed up. That was a bad on me. I had it on a little hanger and it taken it off. I just jiggled it too much and I caught it,
but it was already messed up.
It was wet, and then I tried to put it back on the thing and clean it. I was like, all right, it was just at a point where it was almost dry. So I was like, all right, let it dry. Sanded it back down. I got it resprayed, so I got to put it all back together and just get pictures and stuff. I'm bougie about my pictures, so
you try to be bougie.
That's it. And then off to TriggerCon.
Yeah, buddy, coming up in a few weeks.
I know. And then IV88 right after that. It's close for me, dude. I can drive.
No, I get it. I keep getting the emails from Brandy. You haven't registered yet. No, I have
You're
not.
like, I'm not gonna.
I'm not gonna. Kyle, let's talk a little bit about Anderson real quick. I know you announced something earlier in the show, but for those that are just joining in or missed it, let's give you a few minutes to talk about Anderson.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier today's show. Right now through Tuesday, we got 30% off the entire web store. Make sure you stop by, check it out. There's probably some stuff on there that you need that you don't know you need quite yet. We do got some new products in the pipes, and Ghost and I today we're talking about some fun competitions and stuff that we're gonna throw later on this year. So definitely a good year. Ready to get into hunting season and all that.
Ready to get out of the summer slump, are you?
Yeah.
I think the industry is ready. It's been a few years. So there wasn't a slump the last few years,
Right. With COVID and everything was go, 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 go. And now we're getting back to normal. And a lot of people aren't used to that. So they're it's a total vibe killer around the office.
I'll give you that.
So I'm ready for those positive vibes and all that. Let's get back.
Mario says competition, sign me up. This one's going to be cool.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait a little bit, but it's going to be pretty badass for sure. Thanks for coming on, brother. Yeah.
Thanks for having me on, Ghost. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely. And some really, really cool stuff coming down the line over Anderson. Clove.
What?
If I say take 2 minutes, are you going to take 20?
Probably.
All right, go for it.
So you better tell me, take 30 seconds or something.
Take 30 seconds, and maybe you'll take 5.
What am I doing?
Oh, no, I know you got a bunch of stuff coming up. I know you released a list over the last week of the podcast coming up.
I did. So we kick off late season of the podcast next week. Thank you, Monstrum, the Powered by sponsor. Still looking for the special segment sponsor. Not sure who that will end up being, but hopefully somebody. And the guest list, pretty cool. We've got 2 top shot winners on there, and we've got a bottom feeder, the gun snob, on there. So top shots and bottom feeders in this season. That'll be pretty cool. Gonna change the studio.
He is the Gar of the podcast season.
Right. No, we love Snobby Poo. Anyway, changing the studio around a little bit, doing some work with that too. Just got back about, an hour probably before you went live. Made a trip to Lowe's, picked up about $200 worth of lumber and things, and gonna be building some stuff out and everything. You've seen, of course, the wall and part of the wall anyway, and some of the other stuff that'll hopefully be done before the podcast season kicks off. So.
Now, my question, the biggest question that I have is, will you be wearing a nice smoking jacket during your interviews this season?
Probably not this season. I'm not going to do the chair.
You need to.
The chair,
please.
Yeah, come on.
Do that.
With the pipe, with a nice velvet smoking jacket, that would be elegant.
Maybe next season we'll get back over to that. I've got to do some work on that particular corner of the studio thing or whatever. So, and I've been wanting to get this particular corner finished so I can set up the 3D printer and get all that done, because I really need to do that. So that's been my motivation for working on this, and I'm just going to use this, I think, for the podcast now. And then I've got, as well as I do, I've got the corner with the purple chair, which would be perfect for the smoking jacket. I agree. And then I've got the Star Wars corner.
Nice burgundy, a nice red, deep burgundy smoking jacket with gold tassels and gold.
And I've got to do some work like the Star Wars corner. I've got, thanks to our good buddy Paul, I've got an addition to that corner that's going to have to go through kind of a rebuild. I've got the Bad to the Bone Darth Vader lightsaber now to go along with the Anakin lightsaber. So along with the Mandalorian rifle and the other stuff. So, yeah, I need to get something up to be able to get into the podcast. And I thought, well, I'll go ahead and do the 3D printing corner, get that done, and then I can work on the other stuff before next season and figure all that out.
Yeah. Real quick, Kyle, you still there? You still with us?
Yes, sir.
Abby wants to know, would it be possible to get a deal on a 10-pack of stripped lowers?
Of course. 30% off right now.
30% off.
I'll work that.
You're not gonna find a better deal than 30% off.
And to top
unless
that
it's like
off,
a Black Friday type thing, you know.
If you want to go even cheaper, you can get 10 Blim stripped lowers for 30% off.
Snap. So you're even throwing the Blims up there, huh?
No, I said site wide. There are no restrictions.
That is crazy.
Now, if there are any dealers out there, there is one restriction.
Jacob wants to know what a stripped lower is. Stripped lower is just the shell itself. You have to take care of all of this. There's not going to be any selector switches or it's going to be the basic lower, and you do the work. But you can get them for. I remember this has been, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 years ago, Kyle. I was able to get on Black Friday. I got Anderson strip lows for $20. I think I got like 5 of them for like $100. It was pretty amazing back. Remember those, TJ? Yep. Everyone, I don't know if everyone remembers that, but Black Friday, you could get a $20 strip lower from Anderson. I got 5 of them for $100. I was like, hell yes, I'm in.
That's definitely the golden age right there. Golly.
Man, those are the golden age. And that wasn't that long ago. It was probably like 5 years ago. But
that pre-COVID awesome price versus the post-COVID now we're everything's more now.
Yeah. All right, boys and girls. Sorry for missing last week. I'm sorry that this one probably wasn't the greatest. I'm still a little bit tired. But next week I'll be back to normal. I hope everybody has a really safe Labor Day weekend. I know that college football is coming back for those that are interested in that. But Labor Day weekend, TJ, I need for you to do me a favor and avoid any hurricanes. I know that the last hurricane that came through was massive and it blew like a cup off the table.
Dude, it was. I got wet out there today on the front porch while I was smoking my cigar, having a cocktail. I got rained on. That was it.
Kyle, are you seeing the private chat?
Yep, just seeing it.
Okay. There you go. So, Gabriel, anybody out there looking, it's AndersonManufacturing.com. AndersonManufacturing.com. I cannot put that link in the into the chat for obvious YouTube reasons. But at Anderson Manufacturing, just Google Anderson Manufacturing. You should find it very quickly. But yeah. Thanks, guys, for watching. If you are watching this in replay or listening in podcast form, remember the conversation does not have to stop. Utilize the comment section. Let us know how bad we did and all of that. We will take your suggestions very seriously because we are a very serious podcast. Thanks to everyone who's joined me tonight. Kyle, go check out Anderson Manufacturing. TJ, go check out gear-report.com. Ginger, thank you. Go check out gunowners.org. Chris from the 740, go check his channel, and do not go check out CloverTech. It is not it's not worth your time. But agree. If you are into that, I would go check out CloverTech. It's what it is. Yeah. Or not, whatever. Guys, have a very safe Labor Day weekend. We'll see you soon. Semper Fi.